Today I'm going to show you how to drill a hole in the center of a round piece of material, and it's not how you think. What you're going to need for this is a drill bit that's the same size as the material you want to drill, a drill bit that's the size of the hole you want to drill in the round piece, and you need a scrap piece of material, the thicker the better. First thing we need to do is set up the drill press so that we have sufficient clearance to get the drill out, but not so much clearance that we will run out of space. So let's get our piece grabbed in the vise here, and it's important that you clamp the vise down to the table. Okay, there's that piece. I can get this drill bit in and out. Now I need to check that this drill bit will be able to drill through the piece of material. Let me take the piece of material out. Ooh, we're just shy. So I'm going to cheat this a little bit. This would be easier if I had used stub drills, but most people don't have stub drills, so I didn't use stub drills. So now I've confirmed that I can drill all the way through my scrap piece. Now what I'm going to show you is how to actually make a drill guide or a drill bushing. And what we're going to do is we're going to drill through this piece of scrap with our desired hole size. Once we're through that, we're going to switch out that drill bit for this one, and then we're going to drill partly through this piece of material, but just enough to get a good pilot, a good step down in there, because we want to have as much of this size hole through this to guide the drill whenever we go to actually drill through here. So just go easy. Yeah, I'm not using any lubricant on this, but I'm not too worried. Should lock my table down too. I'm just going nice and easy, make sure I get a true hole. No need to rush it. If I take it nice and easy, everything will stay nice and cool. Okay, I'm all the way through. Now I'll turn off the drill press, remove the chips, take the old drill bit out, put the new drill bit in. Sounds like I need some new bearings. Now that I've drilled close to 3/16 of an inch to the shoulder of that drill, the margin, I'm going to just gently run it down in there, make sure that I've got a good on-center hole. Okay. Now I should have a hole that's the same size as my drill bit which should be the same size as my stock. My stock fits down in there pretty good. So this is a good point. I didn't take a lot of care in when I cut this stock off. So the squarer that you can make this stock, the better the result will be. So you can see it kind of moves around a little bit. Yeah, it's not so great. So what I'm going to do, let's see here. Let me just take this. Yeah. Make sure. I'll show you another trick. You don't necessarily have to use Loctite retaining compound. You could probably get away with this, but retaining compound is just the fancy stuff. You could use some blue Loctite if you really wanted to. This stuff is designed to fill gaps. So, oops. I'll put that in here. Spin it around a little bit, make sure that there's a sufficient amount in there. And then I will check with a square. Now this is just a fancy square. You don't need a fancy square. You can use any plain old square.
3 hours later.
Okay, we are back. It's been more than 10 minutes, but the Loctite didn't set up. Now, I don't know, because maybe it's an old batch of Loctite or whatever. I'm not going to worry about that. I've got another trick I'll show you. What we're going to do is we're going to take a paper towel, normal paper towel. We're going to fold it into thirds. We're going to put it over the hole. We're going to take our piece. We'll find the hole. And then we'll push the paper towel into the hole, or push the piece into the hole. That is held nice and snug. Now what I can do is just rip the paper towel to remove it. And then we'll take our square and just do a quick little eyeball here. And square there. Yeah, square enough there. And if you really, really cared a whole lot, you could take a X-Acto or another utility knife blade or something and cut all that away. But as you can see, this won't fall away now. Now all we have to do is turn it upside down. Take our drill bit. We're going to bring this up, and what we're going to do, tighten down the drill, find our center, and then we're going to loosen up our milling or our drill vise. Bring this down like so, and we'll just grab it in the vise. Now, one of the other cool tricks about this, had I thought about that for a second ago, so if I just bring this back to center, it doesn't actually have to be put on the bed of the vise. If I just line this up, just line that up. Yeah. So, let me show you why this is useful. So instead of this tiny little piece right here, I could have this 3-foot long piece of material that I got from Home Depot, and I can bring it up through the drill press. I'll grab the material. I'll take that out. Take my 3 paper towels, set it on there. Line this up. Boom. Now I've got my drill jig centered on there. And all I got to do is get that lined up and make sure that the rod itself is square. Get my little square here. What I can do actually is I can bring this up and lower the table. I'll bring this up a bit more. That way I can get my square under there. So that's square that way. Square that way. So because of the jaw vise, or the vise jaws, excuse me, are square to the vise, I really only have to square it up in this axis right here, because it will be square to the vise jaws just by virtue of the fact that they're parallel and it's clamped there. So now we will drop this down. We'll get this centered up. Okay, we're good. Now we just clamp the vise down to the table. We double check that we're still square, because it could have moved. Okay. I think we're good. So I tightened up the table so it won't move around on me. Yep. There we go. When I started the drill and it started spinning, I could see it moved a little bit. So what this does is, this thing that we just drilled a hole through, it just keeps the drill bit on center for the piece of stock. And it helps us get this hole on center so we can get it started. Now, if I take my drill bit out and I pull the jig off, I have a perfectly centered hole. I can put my drill back in. I can continue drilling my hole. So if you don't have a lathe, this is how you can drill a center in a long piece of stock with your drill press. Now I know not everybody has a floor standing drill press, but most people have a benchtop drill press, and the principle is exactly the same. You just have a limitation on what your maximum length is, unless you flip the head of the drill press around and clamp the base to the table. Then you can hang the table, or this table, and the head off the edge of your bench, and then the base of the drill press will be attached to the bench. So whatever your clearance between the chuck and the floor, that will be your maximum length that you can work with. And these drill press vices, they came off of an 8-inch $100 Sears drill press. I got 2 of them because one of them got stolen. Okay, you get the idea. Now with this hole drilled, we can also use this as a tap guide. We just take the paper towel out of there. We take this, which has our number 7 hole, and we just take it over the bench, and we can very carefully tap through that. Or what we can do is, once we've drilled all of our pilots and all of our pieces of material, we can then stick this back in the drill press on the last piece, and then drill a through hole, clearance hole for the tap. So if you've got a 1/4-inch tap, you could drill a 1/4-inch hole, and the 1/4-inch tap is going to pilot in your piece, your drill guide, and you can use that to get this started. Or you can just stick the tap in the drill chuck and get it started that way. Lots of different ways to skin that cat. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you gained some knowledge from this, and it inspires you to do something yourself. Catch you later.